Max Boden's character drew a comparison between his husband, Callum Highway, and a well-known British celebrity. Viewers of EastEnders were left shocked by a nod to an ITV programme during a gut-wrenching twist involving Ben Mitchell. Absent for more than a year, Max Boden's alter ego had previously been jailed in the United States for committing credit card fraud. While serving time overseas, Ben's partner Callum Highway began an affair with Johnny Carter after months of subtle flirting. During the funeral of his father, John O'Highway, Callum attended with his family, including his brother Stuart, only to be stunned when Ben made a surprise return in a dramatic cliffhanger on Monday, October 6. In the following episode, aired on Tuesday, October 7th, fans finally discovered how Ben managed to make it back to Walford despite his overseas prison sentence. The couple's reunion proved tense and uncomfortable, as everyone except Ben was aware of Callum and Johnny's affair. Ben's parents, Phil and Kathy, were delighted to hear he had been transferred to a UK prison after cooperating with authorities and was allowed out temporarily for the funeral. As panic spread, Johnny urged Callum to stay silent about their secret, though Callum insisted that honesty was the only option. When Callum confessed the truth, Ben lashed out at Johnny, but his anger deepened upon realising his family already knew. Despite Callum's attempts to calm him, Ben ended their relationship, furiously calling the solicitor a discount Judge Rinder. The episode concluded with Ben breaking down in his prison cell, alone and devastated, after being escorted back by officers. Fans of EastEnders were left reeling, flooding X, formerly Twitter, with reactions to the unexpected mention of Rob Rinder. Joel's next victim confirmed in early EastEnders BBC iPlayer release ahead of special episode. Joel Marshall may have found a new victim after one of Walford's teens labelled him an incel. The comment came after another rough day for Vicky Fowler, who once again became the target of his sexist insults. She'd noticed that Joel had skipped school yet again, despite appearing perfectly healthy. When she mentioned it to her partner Ross, he revealed he'd given Joel permission to take the day off. The reason? It was the day of his mother Cleo's wedding, something that, apparently, had left him heartbroken. But as viewers know, that's far from the truth. There's long been bad blood between Joel and his mum, especially after he cruelly called her a slapper. He didn't seem to care in the slightest about her getting remarried, and instead headed to the Vic with Tommy Moon to steal alcohol. After lounging on the sofa playing games all day, Vicky returned home in the latest episode to find the living room in chaos. When she ordered him to tidy up, he responded with another barrage of sexist remarks, insisting housework was a woman's job. Storming out, Joel went to the park to watch more toxic videos from his favourite online influencer, and there he ran into Amy Mitchell, Avani Nandra Hart, and Nugget Gulati. Amy fired back at him, calling him an incel, and demanded to know where his friends were. Could Amy now be his next target? Amy's history with Joel. This isn't the first time Amy and Joel have clashed. Earlier this year, Joel made a move on her, openly expressing his attraction. At first, Amy was slightly charmed by his attention, until his disturbing treatment of her best friend Avani changed everything. As fans will recall, he secretly recorded their sexual encounter and got Avani pregnant. Afterwards, he condemned her for considering an abortion. Since then, all the Walford teens except Tommy have cut him off. Ellie Dadd leads new BBC documentary on the Manosphere. Actor Max, who plays Joel, will appear alongside co-stars Diane Parrish and Ellie Dadd in a special BBC documentary exploring the Manosphere and toxic masculinity. The feature will drop on BBC iPlayer tomorrow morning, alongside the day's EastEnders episode, before being broadcast on BBC Three that evening. The cast will dive into the themes behind Joel's story, speaking with experts and real people affected by online misogyny. Interviewees include Professor Harriet Over from the University of York, individuals with lived experiences, poet Sam Brown, whose viral work tackled misogyny, and representatives from the charity Beyond Equality. Dark times ahead for Vicky. Little is known about the specific episode connected to the documentary, though it's clear that danger looms for Vicky Fowler. With her and Ross reaching breaking point over Joel's escalating aggression, the couple are unsure how to handle him. After Joel and Tommy's actions at school spark chaos across the community, both sets of parents, Vicky and Ross and Kat and Alfie, try desperately to talk sense into their sons. Unfortunately, things spiral further when Joel turns violent at number 43, physically attacking Vicky in a shocking and disturbing moment. EastEnders' hidden camera twist spells trouble for Ravi. EastEnders' Ravi Gulati could soon face justice for his drug trafficking empire after the latest episode hinted that Teddy Mitchell's daring new plan might expose him. In the newest installment of the BBC One soap, Harry continued opening up to his father, revealing how Ravi and Oki had drawn Kojo Asare into their criminal dealings, and how Nicola managed to buy Harry's release, but not Kojo's. "Kojo's my best mate. If it means me taking the fall, then so be it," Harry declared, ready to hand himself over to the authorities. But Teddy quickly shut him down, insisting it would solve nothing. "Kojo wouldn't survive inside. They'd probably deport him," Teddy snapped, his frustration rising. "You're lucky you're not buried in concrete somewhere, so stop crying. You're not going to the police." Promising to fix everything within 24 hours, Teddy assured his son he had a plan, though Harry doubted his father had any real idea what he was up against. Teddy later went looking for Nicola, only to discover she'd vanished. He appeared nervous while speaking to Billy and Honey in the Vic, quickly making his exit when Callum Highway and others arrived from a funeral. From there, he headed straight to confront Ravi. If she thought she could buy Kojo's freedom too, she must have been sniffing the bleach again, Ravi sneered coldly, warning Teddy to get lost. Changing tactics, Teddy told Harry to take Kojo and Gina out for lunch, giving himself the chance to quietly steal the flat keys. Once inside Kojo's flat, Teddy moved with quiet precision, every creak of the floorboards making his heart pound faster. He knew one wrong move could expose everything. Moments later, the sound of keys rattling in the door sent panic coursing through him. Ravi and Oki had returned earlier than expected. Teddy ducked behind the sofa, holding his breath as the two men stepped inside, arguing about money and their next drug drop. For several tense minutes, he stayed frozen, praying they wouldn't notice the door slightly ajar or the misplaced keyring. When Ravi finally barked orders for Oki to leave, the pair exited, leaving Teddy trembling but relieved. Only when the hallway fell silent did he dare to move again. Knowing this might be his only chance, Teddy quickly scanned the room for a spot that wouldn't attract attention. He slipped a small hidden camera onto a shelf between two photo frames and linked the live feed to an app on his phone. Watching the connection flicker to life, he exhaled shakily. The evidence he needed could soon be in his hands. But the risk couldn't be higher. If Ravi or Oki discovered the device, Teddy knew their retaliation would be brutal. The Mitchell name might not be enough to protect him this time. Still, he was determined, not just to save Kojo from Ravi's grip, but to give his son Harry the future he'd nearly thrown away. As the scene cut to Teddy leaving the flat under the cover of night, viewers were left wondering what comes next. Could this desperate plan finally be the downfall of Ravi Gulati's criminal network? Or has Teddy just painted a target on his own back? Fans won't have to wait long to find out. EastEnders continues Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One, with new episodes dropping early from 6 a.m. on BBC iPlayer.